Ladies and gentlemen of the beautiful crypto world, I've got some interesting thoughts to share on XRP. With the Bitcoin price being in such a crazy spot, and the XRP price again below 50 cents, I think many are wondering, what exactly are my plans, what am I doing, and what am I thinking about XRP here? So now first off, I gotta say, Bitcoin caught us in a bit of a predicament because the price fell so hard yesterday. Many altcoins also fell, well, let's just call it significantly. And with that in mind, XRP going from, let's say, 48.7 cents all the way down to roughly 46 point something. On some exchanges, I've heard it go to 44. I didn't personally see it. And when looking it up, again, some of the lower prices I have found right here are, for example, 46.2. Right here, it seems to be 46.17. And right here, also 46.28. So basically, I didn't see the price go as low, but some people claim to see it. Or I should say, have seen it. But that brings a very interesting point about the price, which is when taking a look at it, like if we're zooming out, for example, if you take an older exchange, let me type in XRP on a old exchange like Bitstamp, for example. If we look at XRP on a longer term scale, first of all, it's been like years in the making of some sort of breakout. That's like first that I want to put up real quick. But if we look at it, first of all, any of you can see that it's been actually a pretty good journey if you were here early, because the price is up a pretty good chunk ever since then, right? Thousands of %. But even if you got in, for example, in 2020, overall, you'd still be up a pretty good amount. Maybe only 300%, but it basically beats most stocks. And if you, for example, bought in first at one of the higher points, like right around here, but you just kept buying your way down lower, you could have actually also still flipped it for a pretty juicy chunk of profit. So now, am I buying more? What am I thinking of the price here? And should I sell? Let me just quickly give you some thoughts. So when taking a look at the yearly performance of XRP, ladies and gentlemen, right now we are at a price where things get really interesting. Partially because if it breaks through here, we're basically at the lowest prices, which we're already at, we've seen in the entirety of the last year, which is significantly different than most altcoins. And when taking a look, let me quickly show you. If we're taking a look at XRP versus Bitcoin, the price is not too crazy just quite yet, but let me quickly move this aside. Can I move this aside? Oh, I'm drawing. My bad. I wanted to quickly move this aside. There we go. If we're taking a look at it, though, right now we are getting back to prices that we've seen last all the way back in December of 2020. We're basically right now back at those prices. Slightly better, because even last night here, it seems that altcoins survived better than Bitcoin did, which is interesting. Some altcoins plummeted like crazy, but many of the top altcoins actually didn't. Anyway, I was just trying to say that we're getting very, very close to that December 2020 level right now as we speak on the Bitcoin pair, but on the dollar pair, we're basically already there. And I believe that this could be one of those make or break moments for people where they might just start to give up. And I'm not saying this because I want to make people fearful. I'm just saying this is usually a level where people have their stops at because they think, ooh, XRP is definitely not going to fall below 47 cents. If it does, things are bad. And I'll tell you that right now, from the way it's going, it's not really bad because the price is just hovering and is, just basically doing almost nothing here. It's just slowly falling down a bit with the rest of the market. But I personally see it as follows. All right, because right now we're getting into ever so slightly scary territory, mostly for other people. Let me explain to you my thoughts. My thoughts are as follows. I am not buying more XRP. Why? I have enough. Why do I have enough? Because it's not the market for altcoins. That's one. Second of all, I am not selling any XRP. Why? First of all, because I do believe the XRP price will be higher than it is today. Part two, I don't need the money. If I sold it, what would I buy? Some other altcoin, but might as well hold XRP because still, probability-wise, there's a good chance it'll do well. But mostly from the perspective of, I've got some long-term bags that I built a couple years ago, and I'm not touching them. I told myself, Dusty, don't touch them for like 5 years. Only 2 years have passed or so. So maybe more, but just my idea is I'm going to hold them for a long time. That time has not passed. Which brings me to point number 3. People get caught up in the short term. The 2021 run sucked for XRP, but did it really though? I often like to argue with people that say, oh, Dusty, XP was such a waste of time, because when looking back, the price did a 20x, an 18x here from the March lows to the April, so in about 1 year, it did a 20-fold return, going from roughly, let's say 10 cents all the way up to $2. And that was with the lawsuit ongoing. This is obviously restricted movement, as the price prior in 2017 did an even crazier number. With that in mind, and that's again one of the main reasons I'm still actually holding and still quite bullish on it, even though it just keeps going lower where you're just annoyed and it's not been the season for a coin like XRP or any of those major altcoins yet. And many of them at the top here are actually down. Now, I will say that if I was a new person getting into crypto, the reason I wouldn't as quickly buy XRP now is because I know more about crypto than I knew when I started. And when, I guess, the last seasons were here. One is the lawsuit is still ongoing. Even though most likely it'll be a slap on the wrist, it's still ongoing. Ripple's got some pretty massive things coming up, but they're up and coming. And I think they might not basically go for them or announce them until the price is already doing well, which is my main point. The cycle of crypto works Bitcoin first, Ethereum second, major altcoins next. Bitcoin we've seen the ETFs, we've seen it go. Now, I personally believe with the ETH ETFs coming up potentially next week, Ethereum's going to go on a massive run. Some altcoins, perhaps a ton, perhaps a Solana, whatever, are already going to quickly reap benefits from that ETH move, maybe some layer 2s. But for the most part, many of the big ones will only start doing well a significant amount of time afterwards. And with that in mind, I actually could better just focus mostly on opening Ethereum longs, trying to buy the Ethereum bottom, and trying to catch the wave up for many of these coins time and time and time again, rather than buying major altcoins that need significant inflows of money to move when the market's not necessarily set bullish for them. So, summarize. One is I'm warning people that if the price drops a lot lower from here, we're at the lowest price in a long time, it might catch people a bit off guard, might make them scared. For my longer term strategy, it hasn't changed a bit. I'm not really buying much more. People in the comments section say every time, oh, Dusty, XP is doing this, that, this, that, this, that. Hypotheticals are nice, potentials are nice, but if the market's not there for it, then it doesn't matter that much. I do still believe, however, that at some point the market will turn for it, but I'm mostly just holding a freaking ton of it already, which I do believe will be worth a lot more in the future, because if you look at the two previous bull runs, it did do pretty freaking well. Last time it had the lawsuit going, this time it probably won't have. And last but not least, so people are asking, is DCAing XRP wise? Now, I will tell you that almost any coin in the top that's not dead, and if a coin is dead, you would have probably noticed it a few months ago because it would have trembled significantly in the not so bullish times. Any coin that right now is holding up nicely, right, I'm talking about, is not just down 70% this month or so. Some coins are down a lot, like Beam. Okay, you see these coins right here, but even this is not too bad, actually. I'm going to be honest with you. But if the coin is down like 70% or so in a month, which many of the smaller coins are, you might want to forsake them for the slight future here, because we don't know if the market's turning bullish again or not. So be more afraid of those because they're too volatile. It's also an indication of what the bear market's going to look like. 70% down can happen in a day, but for XRP, I've not forsaken it. So I will say, if you're actually just buying your way down lower, it's, with most coins, pretty freaking hard to not make money on that leg up. If we're taking a look at the monthly performance though, like let's for example here, if you bought at 46.71, you could have later on sold for 51 cents. That is what? Here, for example, on the 18th of June, so last week exactly actually, that was about 8%, 9% up in just a few hours. If you're consistently buying the XRP dip, and let's say you bought your first buy right there, but you're able to buy lower and lower and lower, and your average price right now, because you also made a purchase at 46.8 cents, is right now about 48.60. So let's just say you bought a lot at the top, but you're buying heavier as the price goes down. Your last buy was right there. Your average price is now right there because obviously it's more thick towards the bottom. Then right now, in the next few minutes or hours, you could have made roughly 5.3% gains. Even if your average price right now was at this price right there, you could have still made how much? Let's see. 3.7 or 3.17% gains over the next few hours with some leverage that could have been juicy. And yes, this is slightly scary to have so many buys as the price comes down. Perhaps you only had two. One buy at 52 cents, one buy again at 47. Again, if your buys are thicker at the bottom, your average is probably slightly south of the middle. Let's say again between 52 and 46 is, let's say, 49. But we go slightly more towards the bottom, so we're going to go 48.8, whatever, right? We're going there. Again, on that wave upwards, you could have netted yourself a juicy 4.3% profit. And so the point here still stands. A DCA, even with something like XRP, even if you're doing wilder swings, so you bought once right there, your second buy was right here at 46.2. All you need is to either wait for a significant dip further, let's say towards 43, to catch yourself a juicy return of profit on the leg upwards, potentially again to 46, because you're hoping to lower and lower your average price. So when the price goes up, you make profit, which is exactly what I did with Bitcoin last night, which is exactly what I covered in the Telegram. So if you're not joined it yet, make sure you join it. I mostly do it for Bitcoin and ETH, but it works for major altcoins too. It works for small altcoins, but those you need to have either a little bit more capital to stomach it or just bigger balls. That's about it. But yeah, so I'm still excited about it. People want to say all sorts of things. Oh, no, you should sell. Oh, you should da-da-da-da. This has worked for me years. It will work again. I'm not your financial advisor, but I do know what the frick I'm talking about. That's about it.